Hey Zen fam, so here we go. This is the response videos from all those lovely people that saw the dream game video and said, you know what, I've got a dream game and I'm going to tell Zen Bloke and the Zen fam all about it. There are three lovely people here. One of them I've met IRL and the other two I've become I'd like to think decently online friendly with. So sit back, enjoy, and once they're done, I will then detail the second dream game I had in my head, as I said I would in the original video. Here we go.
Hi everyone from the Zen Fam community, Scottish Man Cave here, and I'm going to cheat a little bit. I can't really come up with a new idea, but I'm going to steal an old idea, and that is PDC Darts Pro Tour. This is a class game, guys, a bit of a hidden gem. If you're a darts fan, this is a, fantastic game. And it's actually been a very good game for my channel. There's a lot of PDC Darts fans that watch me stream this game, but there's not been a new game in a very, very long time. And I think this game, the gameplay is fantastic. It just needs brand new graphics, the current set of players. I think, especially with Luke Littler and the rise of him, darts is probably its hottest right now. I would say PDC Darts Pro Tour, a new game. I think this developers have been long out of business. I don't think they even make games anymore, but I don't understand why a new darts game hasn't been made. And as I say, they don't need to change the gameplay. The gameplay is actually perfect. It just needs updated graphics, updated players. And yeah, that is my choice for the games that I personally would create. Also, I would give this a bit of an honourable mention as well. WSC Real 09. We haven't had a new snooker game since 2019. And to be honest, it's not as good as this. It's not as good as this. Again, mechanics are fantastic in this game. Again, just needs upgraded graphics, the current set of players, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that is two games I think that should be made in the future.
What is going on, guys? It is Up Nimbus here, and thank you so much to Zen Blake for inviting me to this collaboration. This is a really cool idea. He wants us to talk about our dream video game. The one concept that I really want Nintendo to revisit was back in Super Smash Bros. Brawl for the Nintendo Wii. And what I'm specifically talking about is the story mode, the Subspace Emissary. To me, that is the peak when it comes to content within a Smash Bros. Game. I love stories, I love character crossovers, I love interactions. I really want to be immersed in a big story-driven game with my favorite Nintendo characters of all time. And I just get this really depressing feeling within me that the developer of Smash Bros., Masahiro Sakurai, he is never going to go back to that formula of the Subspace Emissary. If there's ever another Smash Bros. Game, I just don't think we're ever going to get that proper story mode with all these big grand cutscenes and character interactions. So what else can Nintendo do that would be a dream concept of putting all those characters together? Well, why don't we actually have a proper Nintendo RPG? I want a huge story-driven RPG featuring all the Nintendo characters, majority of the characters that feature in Super Smash Bros. Let's just keep it strictly Nintendo. Get Mario, Link, Pokemon, get Fire Emblem and Xenoblade, obviously. Star Fox, Kirby, Metroid, get all the big dudes in there. And I really want this big adventure, spanning across all these Nintendo worlds, but intertwined. I don't want a cheap, lazy thing where, you're dimension hopping and you're going through portals to get to other Nintendo worlds. I kind of want it like the Subspace Emissary, where it really was its own full world. And all these characters do exist in the one world. I like that idea for some reason. Focus on those character interactions, have dialogue between the characters that make sense. Characters in Xenoblade and Fire Emblem who do talk. Link can stay silent because he's got to stay true to his character, but I really want an RPG. I want to have a leveling up system. I want it to be this big grandiose adventure that's over 100 hours long. I want a huge journey with all these characters that we've come to know and love. That, I think, is my dream game. I don't know if Nintendo's ever going to do an RPG. They can outsource it to a third-party studio who is good at making RPGs. Let Monolith Soft do it, please. You know, I really would love that to be my dream game. Just some type of amazing Nintendo crossover, aside from Smash Brothers, something that will give us a story with epic antagonists. You know, I want like really cool bad guys, you know, both from Nintendo universes, but also they want to make original characters who've got their own motives. By all means, I'm totally down for that. As long as they fit within the aesthetic of the game, go nuts. But Zenbloke, thank you so much for inviting me to this collaboration. Such a cool thing to talk about. And of course, I'm looking forward to everybody else's choice within this video. So until the next time, everybody, Upper Nimbus is signing off.
Thank you, Zen, for having me on the channel. Hello, everyone. It's EOG. Now, why am I here? Well, Zen posed the question. If you could design any game you want, forget licensing, forget costs, forget budgets, it don't matter, just do what you want to do. Well, here's what my idea would be. So now we could probably all do a 20-30 minute video on this alone, so I'm going to try and keep it as short as possible, right? If you know the EOG's channel, we play a variety of stuff, but my favourite love in gaming is the fighting game world. Look behind me, I'm a massive Street Fighter shill. So my dream game would be a Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter crossover. I want it to have the look and feel of a Mortal Kombat, but I want it to play the mechanic wise like Street Fighter. Yeah, not exact, but more along those lines. That's number one. Now the core of the game, title and how it would work, I haven't quite fleshed out. But it would be 80s and 90s actions heroes. Now this might seem far-fetched. Now, whether you have characters from movies or a mixture of the two, let me give you an example. If you had Arnold Schwarzenegger, right, in the game as a playable character, which is not that far-fetched because he's been in loads of games now as Terminator predominantly, but he's been in a number of games. You could have Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? But you could have DLC skins, you could have a number of skins, you could have him as, you know, Dutch out of Predator, John Matrix out of Commando, the list goes on. You could have him out of The Running Man, Ben Richards. You know, you can have loads of things going on for each person. Now, that in that mix, who else is going to be in there? Stallone, you got Rocky and Rambo, Van Damme. And again, these might seem far-fetched, but Van Damme is in the latest Mortal Kombat as Johnny Cage, which was the original concept for Johnny Cage. So it might not be that far-fetched, but I would have all of these legends, right? Now, how you get around those that have unfortunately sadly passed, RIP Chuck Norris, who's just passed. What a legend Chuck Norris is, by the way. But I would go all in. Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, Steven Seagal, Wesley Snipes, Keanu Reeves, predominantly John Wick. But look, the list is endless. Pick your favourite action hero from that genre and you have a massive roster. And if you could do their real licensing of their voices, etc., you would have this epic, ridiculously epic game. Kind of like the Expendables, you know? Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren. I mean, how many, you know, that Hard Target was one of my favourite Van Damme movies. So I'd gotta have a Hard Target skin. I would go after him. What was his name? Boudreaux, Chance Boudreaux, wasn't it? I would go after him as my main. I'm just telling you out the gate what a movie Hard Target is. My ideal game would be that. Zen, back over to you. Great idea, brother. Love the idea for this. Hope you get lots of people posting in. And if he does a little series off this, make sure you post him your videos, send them to him, and I want to hear your ideas. What are your ideas? You know what I mean? That's mine. Anyway, EOG signing off. Take care. Bye-bye.
Not bad, eh? I like to think there's some very clever ideas there. I was really liking a lot of what I was hearing. Hence why I brought it to you, lovely people. So now you're going, okay Zen, you've told us about the Gwar game, you've shown us the people, what's this other mystery game you've been talking about? Right, get this guys, okay? Now, back in the day when we got PlayStation Dreams, I actually tried to make this, and I very much got in over my head, because game development is hard. Stupidly hard. By the way, excuse my voice, I've been doing a lot of yelling today because I was out protesting for Scottish independence. Anyway, this game, okay, it's kind of like a side scroller, but not. Because what the game is, right? Imagine like you're on this everlasting loop, okay? It's going up, kind of like the ramp in a car park, okay? But it's big circular loop. Now, obviously, this is a scaled down version. Obviously, the actual circle would be far larger. So there's this loop, and it's going up, and it's going up, and it's going up, and it's going up. And it's effectively almost like an endless runner, except obviously there will be an end. And this is the mechanics I'm giving you here, okay? So you've got this, it's basically like one level, or one game, or one environment, and this goes up. And the longer you're on it, the harder it gets. And obviously there'd be like, periodically at particular points, there'll be particular challenges to overcome. Now obviously the whole thing is filled with challenges, but you're always going in one direction. You're never going back on yourself. It's kind of parkourish in that nature. You're always going forward. You're always pushing. And the essence of the game is, you're going up this ramp. You're going up this ramp to get to the top. Sounds pretty simple. Now you're probably going to say to yourself, okay then, so we understand the mechanics of what you're doing. Why are you doing this in the game? Well, the idea of the game is basically, right, you're the captain of a street hockey team that was sent to hell, and you're escaping from hell using your street hockey skills. So you've got on your rollerblades, you've got your hockey stick, and basically you're a golf chick or a metal chick. You can pick that in the character select screen, whether you be a golf chick, a metal chick, a techno chick, whatever. Any kind of subgenre music, there'll be like several choices, but for me I'd be picking the metal chick. Alright? And basically you're just this hard as nails, no nonsense street hockey female player. And you'll quite happily take down other opponents with your hockey stick. You don't give no quarter. And somehow you and your team have been sent to hell. And it's your job as captain to earn your team's return to Earth and get out of hell. You're going to get one more shot at life, be restored to the point in which your team bus left the road, and be reanimated and live again. But to do that, you've got to skate and beat demons and stuff in your way up the spiral, and basically use your hockey skills, your street hockey skills, to beat the living snot out of every kind of demon and monster and foul beast that hell can throw at you. And of course at the end you have to beat Satan. So now whether or not those kind of things happen, with how we take those types of battles, whether we take them into a separate screen and have them as a battle arena, or they're rolling up the spiral, will obviously be contextualized. For some bosses there'll be micro bosses where you're just continuing to go up the spiral but still battling. But for bigger bosses and larger scale demons, and especially for Satan, those I think will happen in a separate arena. So then you can do dodging backwards and forwards, and you can fight and use power-ups, and you'll be able to upgrade your hockey stick, be able to upgrade your rollerblades, be able to upgrade your knee pads and your shoulder pads, and you don't have a helmet because helmets are for wimps, right? But your gum guard can be upgraded. You could probably gain different sorts of versions of your team uniform, and change the makeup of the character. get like put in contacts and stuff. Really get crazy with it. Just show the creativity of the style of the music genre that you've selected for your player character. You even have moves where like you can like if you need to do a do a sort of a double team on an enemy, you can like press something like in a combo, and one of your teammates will come in and help you beat the hell, literally, out of one of the demons, and then disappear, and you continue on once you have used a particular power up of like 2-player power up, where you and one of your teammates smash away with your hockey sticks and beat them up, and then once you're done with that boss, then they go away and you continue on your journey back to the world. That has been the idea in my head ever since I first heard of Dreams, and there's sort of like, you can make anything you want, and trust me, I did try. It took me 12 hours combined of pulling my hair out to even try to make a hockey stick, never mind the actual person that plays or the arena or anything else. So if this game was to be able to be made, or if a developer hears my pitch, then please make my game. That would be amazing. And the only thing I would ask is give me a free copy and allow me to be on the review team for it. I'm not even asking for a percentage of the profits of the game, but it would be kind of neat if I was mentioned in the game or mentioned in the credits or something. I don't know. From the mind of a YouTuber from Scotland or something like that. I don't know. I mean, it's clear that I love small projects and mad teams, but yeah, that's my game. That's my idea, and I think you'll agree it's probably a slightly bigger and more ambitious idea than my Gwar game, because this is something built from the ground up. It's not like anything else that exists as far as I'm aware. A side-scrolling, endless runner that's continually going up an almost never-ending corkscrew level. I think it would be kind of fun. It would probably have a similar sort of look and feel, I would imagine, to something like, say, Stray or Sifu. Yeah, that's what I want to do. That's my game. Obviously, yet again, thank you to the free contributors to this video. Hopefully, more people will come along, and if more people come along, I will do a third video, and I would very much like to do that. So if you're out there and you've seen this and you fancy a go, you feel free, dive right on in, send me a link of an unlisted YouTube video, I'll capture it, I'll edit it into the video, and everything will be lovely jubbly. Speaking of lovely jubbly, hashtag support Scottish YouTubers, and of course, as always, nae bother.